So we're going to talk through the electric guitar parts for Together Forever, and this is going to be a little bit different than what you're hearing in the recording. We're going to kind of reinterpret it a little bit. So in the beginning of the song, in the recorded version, you hear the acoustic kind of doing that picking, and we're actually going to play that on the electric. What you're shooting for is a very clean sound, kind of what you've been playing for OIC, because that, again, you're kind of mimicking the acoustic guitar. And you don't want anything that's going to get too messy for that picking. And then for everything else in the song, when you're not doing that open picking, you're going to do a couple different things. In the chorus and in some of the verses, you're going to be doing kind of first position open picking when you want that really clean sound. And then in the turns, you're going to have that lead figure. In the pre-choruses and the bridge, you're going to be playing power chords. In the choruses, you're going to be strumming full bar chords. For everything that isn't that first position open picking, where you're emulating the acoustic guitar, you can kick on like a light overdrive. Don't overdo it, but kind of a nice light one would be fine. So let's start with that open picking in the chorus. In the first chorus, it's going to sound something like this. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Just like that, and from there you're going to go to the turn. So I kind of did some really light, just 3-note picking on every chord that there was, except for those 4 really fast chords, those 1 beat each chords at the end of the second line. So the D minor, the C sharp diminished, the C minor 7, and the F 7. Those I just strummed once because they're only like a quarter note each, only 1 beat, and so there's not really enough time to do like full arpeggio. And you'll hear this in the recording too, that's actually what the guitar player is doing. They're just and then back to the back to the picking like that. And I would suggest you can do like finger picking if you're more comfortable with that. I'm always super more comfortable with finger picking, but if you can do picking with an actual pick, or even like a hybrid picking, where you have your pick in your your thumb and your forefinger, and you're hitting the bass note with the pick, and then using kind of your second and third fingers to pick the rest of the arpeggio, that will make for an easier transition between the chorus and the turn, because then you don't have to like reach up and grab a pick from your mouth or from a pick holder or from your pocket or wherever it is that you're keeping your pick. So hybrid picking, super great for this song because it makes it really easy when you go up to the turn. So the turn is kind of the second thing that you'll be doing throughout the song. I said one thing is like open picking, and then you have this kind of cool lead figure that you're playing in the turn. It goes like this. Screwed it up a little at the end. Sorry, it's getting late. My brain doesn't work very well. But this is actually one of the easier lead figures that you have across all your songs, which is nice because this song can be a bit challenging in some other ways. So it's nice to have a really easy part that's kind of fun, but still pretty simple. The only trick or hint I guess I can give you for this is just keep your first finger barred across the 10th fret here, and that makes everything else just super easy. You're just kind of grabbing notes off that bar, but that bar stays anchored, and most of the notes that you hit are all on that bar. Just like that. Keep it barred. Makes it very simple. So you'll be out for verse one, and then verse 2 you're going to be picking again, just kind of that same feel that you were picking in the chorus, that open pick, first position kind of open chord picking. And again, if you had kicked on your light overdrive for the turn, kick it back off for that picking, because you're trying to kind of emulate an acoustic guitar there. Picking for verse 2. Come the pre-chorus, this is kind of the third category of things that you'll be doing, and that is power chords. So, the pre-chorus is... sounds kind of like this. Like that. And you'll notice it's that very like plotty kind of quarter note, aggressive kind of down strum, these accented staccato quarter note strums. And I stress staccato because there should be some space in between them. Like that. When you get to the chorus, you'll be playing bar chords, and you're not just playing changes, but I hate to use the word strumming because that makes it sound busier than it is. What I would suggest is something like that. Something like this. Da, da, da. Like that. That feel. I'm going to screw it up if I keep playing. So something along those lines, where it's, one big strum on the downbeat and then kind of a little accenty something on beat 3. Because that kind of gives it that... It gives beat 3 an appropriate accent without getting like too muddy with like a real full strum pattern. But you want to play full bars, so. Anyway, okay. So that's the chorus. So that is the fourth and final category of things you'll be doing. So one is that open picking that kind of emulates the acoustic. The other is that lead figure. The third is power chords, and then the fourth is full bars. So let me run through the song from the top and kind of tell you what you'll be doing where. Obviously the first chorus, open picking, and then you'll go into the turn where you do the tab. Verse 1, you're out. Verse 2, you're going back to open picking. The pre-chorus, you're doing those staccato power chords. Chorus, bars, turn, you go back to that lead figure. Verse 3 is just like verse 2, so open picking, and you want to kick off your overdrive if you have one on. Pre-chorus 2 is just like pre-chorus 1, except it's slightly shorter. It goes straight into the chorus. And that is just power chords, just like you played the same style, those same staccato power chords from pre-chorus 1, you'll do in pre-chorus 2. The third chorus is just like chorus 2 for you, so those full bars where you're not strumming, but it's not just changes, you kind of have that accent on 3. And then you get to the bridge, and that is similar in that it's also accented power chords. So that same kind of aggressive staccato feel sounds like this. No. And then you'll get into that final chorus, which is in G, and that final chorus is full bars in the same style that you played chorus 2 and chorus 3, but it's in a different key, so it's different chords. But it's the same feel. It's the same full bars, those same, big downstrum on the downbeat, and then kind of an accent on beat 3, just kind of round it out. And then the outro is a lot like the bridge. And it's the same feel, those same staccato accented power chords, and it has that same kind of upstrum right before that next chord on the downbeat. You'll hear that if you're listening to the recording. You hear that on both the bridge and the outro. And the rest of the band should have accents on that. I think the drums kind of have like a cymbal hit or something like that. You'll hear accents just before the downbeat of the next chord in both of those sections. So listen to the rest of the band and kind of cue in with what they're playing for those parts. Now, the only things I think I didn't mention as I kind of ran through, in the bridge, the very final chord in the bridge, that D, we're going to play a suspension there. So a D sus to a D. So on your, I didn't mark this in the chord chart, which is why I'm saying it now. And that's very easy if you're playing a barred D here. Your fourth finger just kind of moves up to the, what is that, the 8th fret. So D sus to a D. And while you've been playing power chords up until that D, just so that you can get that suspension in there, you want to switch to a full bar there. There's one other cool little accent going into that final chorus, and it's those octave hits. I don't know who all in the band is going to be playing that, because in the recording it's like they're like orchestra hits, bum 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 bum, like that. So it'd be super cool if we could play it, if the electric guitar can play it, because like I said, I don't know who else is playing it, and it's nice to have it in there. If no one's playing it and it sounds awkward, you can drop it. If everyone else is playing it, then super cool. Just, focus on trying to keep it really clean. So there's 2 different ways you can do this, and that is, 3 and 5, how I tabbed it out on your guitar notes. Like that. Or if you want to stay on these low strings, which I actually find a little bit easier, and I don't know why I didn't tab it out that way, but, it's a very quick figure, so it's going to take some practice to get it clean. I didn't play it super clean because I haven't had a lot of time to practice it, but it's very quick, and if you're going to play it, try and play it super clean and listen to the rest of the band to see who has it and try and lock in with them. So one more time so we get the timing. This is the end of the bridge. Wherever else we're going from there. But that gives you an idea of the timing. And I'll also try and record a quick demonstration video, so hopefully that'll also kind of put that in context for you. But I think that's pretty much all the parts that you need to know, and let me know if you have any questions.